Hey guys, it's Soncerae here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. This is actually one of my speakers. I'd like to welcome you to my podcast, The God Queen. You can follow me on Spreaker, or if you're listening to this on YouTube, it's been uploaded to YouTube. You can put your thoughts inside of the comment section. So I wanted to talk today about when your marriage or your relationship is a lie. There are a lot of marriages out there where they have a lot of cheating in them, abortions. What am I talking about? Cheating, abuse. There's no love inside of the marriage. It's all types of things that's happening inside of marriages. And a lot of people, pretend that they're happy inside of a marriage just so that they can say that they are inside of a marriage because they feel like they will be valued as a human being, saying that they're inside of this marriage. And so a lot of people felt like I must have felt victim to this my damn self because, earlier this year around May, June, July, I was talking about how I was going to get married to Priest and how me and him was eventually talking about marriage. And we did talk about this. I have a live stream up. If you look into my live stream, I actually created a Priest plus Ray playlist so y'all can go check it out. But inside of one of those videos, we're doing a live stream and we actually discuss, us getting married in the future. Now, we had plans to be married eventually, and anyone who's been watching my channel, I don't believe in legal marriage, but I felt like, if I wanted to start a traditional family where I wanted to have a baby and things of that nature, I felt like at the time that he was worthy of me making that transition in myself. I just felt like, he was worth me actually sitting down and having a legal marriage with, even though I feel like to me, a spiritual marriage to a man or me, committing my soul and my love and my heart to a man is actually more beneficial in the utmost respect I can give a man, versus me actually legally marrying him. And during this process, it was more of, we had to wait for him to finally divorce from his previous marriage. Him and his, wife had been in their marriage not happy for about 6 years. And within the past 2 years, the two of them had been separated, and he was just so clear about wanting to move forward and wanting to move on with his life. And it wasn't until recently he decided after I'm 4 months pregnant to tell me, hey, he still has feelings for his ex and he wants to start dating her and start wanting to nurture their relationship. And this is what prompted me to decide to walk away and do my own thing. And so as I'm sitting here and I'm watching Tamar Braxton, she has decided to file for a divorce from her husband of 9 years, Vince Herbert. And as of yesterday, she wrote an Instagram post basically exposing, and not really exposing, but being honest about why she's deciding to get divorced. And inside of this, she's saying, she felt like she was faking, like she was happy inside of this marriage. She was, just doing this to pretend, just so she could say that she was married because, people feel, like I said, people feel valued when they say they're married. And she talks about all of the girlfriends that he has and all of the, arguments and things of that nature. And everyone, inside of a relationship, you can have arguments all of the time. But when it gets so ugly to where, the language becomes abusive or it begins to be physical abuse or whatever the case is, you start to, think about whether you want to be in this marriage or not. And Tamar actually asked to be on the Wendy Williams show. And, her and Wendy are friends. And, Wendy is also friends with Vince Herbert. And Wendy's husband is also friends with Vince Herbert. So Wendy ends up turning Tamar Braxton down, saying, hey, you can't come onto the show because I kind of just don't want to get in the middle of the situation between you and Vince. But at the same time, Wendy's having her own issues with her husband. I mean, allegedly her husband has a mistress whom he's been putting inside of a Jersey home, which happens to be 10 to 15 miles away from his regular home. And he has his mistress up in this home where she's pregnant. And, it's interesting to me because I didn't even realize she was pregnant until recently. I thought she was just, someone he had on the side that Wendy knew about. And, when you get in these marriages and you've been married for X, Y, and Z years, you start to accept certain things and be a little bit more, flexible in regards to the nature of the relationship. Me, I'm the type of person, hey, if you want to have an open relationship or you want to be polyamorous, to me, there's no point in you being legally married to each other. Unless you want to have a traditional family to where you want to have a husband and a wife and some kids, there's no reason to be legally married. If you're going to have an open marriage or, to where you two are sleeping with other people and inviting other people into, your marriage, you might as well just get divorced or, be single or, be polyamorous. And I'm not interested in polygamy or anything like that. And I remember a couple of conversations I was having with priests where he was considering like trying to marry me and stay married to his ex. And I was just looking at him like, nah, polygamy is not something I would do. Polyamory, I can do. That means you and I aren't, trying to build a traditional family. Now, don't get it twisted. Not having a traditional family, that's okay as well, as long as it's healthy, as long as, everybody knows what's going on and they have a deeper understanding of the nature of the relationships that's happening. But a lot of people who are in polyamorous relationships or whatever type of relationship they're in, they tend to lie to their children or they lie to their family, their extended family, or they lie, about who they are. And personally, I don't see any point in doing that, regardless to whether I'm in an open marriage or a traditional marriage or a poly relationship or whatever the case is. I'm the type of person, I like to be honest. So as I'm sitting here on my YouTube channel and I'm seeing these videos about Tamar and Vince, and I'm seeing, these videos about Wendy and her husband cheating on her, and, I just see all of these different people going through experiences in regards to marriage and cheating and loveless situations, and people, no longer participating and keeping their word and playing their position like they're supposed to inside of these relationships. And some people actually pretending that they're playing their position. That's just ridiculous to me. It's unfortunate. And for me to be in a situation I'm in myself where I have half people thinking, hey, I'm like this side chick who got pregnant by a married man, and priest was married, and I just decided to get pregnant by him because I thought he had money or something crazy like that. And then I have other people, realizing, hey, Soncerae was actually with this man. They did photo shoots together. They've been to family functions together. Each other's family knows, their families know each other. And, for me to be as open and say, hey, when I did meet Priest and he said to me, I'm separated, in my mind, I'm thinking, this is a recipe for disaster. I don't think this is something that I want to do. And, for him to reassure me that their marriage is over and that they no longer have emotional ties and that they both are seeing other people and she's inside of a relationship with someone else, and they're having, multiple people that they're having sex with and whatever the case is. And I'm thinking, well, if you want to move forward with me and this is exactly what you want to do, you want to, move on and be in a new marriage and start a new family. And these are things that you want. I can give you more time to do that. And so as I'm sitting here and I'm pregnant now, which actually, like I said, we discussed pregnancy so many times. And now, the pregnancy is actually happening a little bit earlier than we, expected, because I really did not believe I was going to get pregnant this soon. I thought that with us, playing around with a fertility app and us looking at, how often we have sex and for me to track my period, I believed that it wasn't going to be like, another year or two before I got pregnant, because I hadn't even been pregnant in 10 years. And before that, I had miscarriages and abortion. So I wasn't expecting it to happen so soon. And now that it's happened soon, before he actually officially got divorced, I'm just looking at divorce and marriage just as ugly as I was looking, if not more ugly as I was looking at it beforehand, because I remember the promises that he made. I mean, both of them, because speaking to him and his ex-wife, personally and privately, them both telling me that they were ending their marriage and I had nothing to worry about. And now suddenly they want to date each other. It is so wishy-washy and people are so fickle. This is why I stay away from marriage, and this is why I stayed away from relationships, and this is why I pushed polyamory so hard, because people change their minds like a drop of a hat. And my thing is, you can't go into a situation and say that you're deeply in love with someone, and then within that same year, suddenly you're no longer in love with this person. And so I felt like, in this loveless relationship I'm in, where the man that I'm with, who I'm thinking, will do anything for me, who will move heaven and earth for me, now he's suddenly treating me like I'm some pregnant side chick. I'm looking at him like, oh, so now that's who I am to you. Like, what? We done traveled together. You done met my family. I done met your family. We done went all out to dinner with your family. We done so much stuff together. How am I like this side chick? How suddenly am I devalued, and now you're putting more value onto a marriage that you were supposedly trying to get out of, for the past 2 years. Well, 6, because you were miserable for 6 of those years, and you spent 2 years being separated. And the funny thing is, before I came along into his life, people didn't even know he was separated. The people in his family, his friends, they didn't even know he was separated. They thought that he was still married to this woman. So when I came around, and he's bringing me around his family, his extended family, because of course his mother and his siblings, knew that he was no longer, in this marriage, and that he was separated. But his extended family had no clue. So when they were seeing me with him, they were kind of like, what is going on? Like, this is his new, person? Like, I didn't even know he was separated. And so them two was living like this lie for such a long time in regards to their marriage. You're sitting there unhappy, but they want to put on this facade, for both of their families, like they're still in this happy marriage with each other. And it's unfortunate that somehow I got pulled into this. And a lot of people are like, well, how could you have even participated in something like this? And my thing is, when he came to me and said that he wanted, to make changes in his life and he needed more time, I just wanted to give the man the opportunity to, make the changes that he needed to make inside of his life. And not once did I think I would be at the short end of the stick in regards to this situation. So I speak about, the lies of relationships and the lies of marriages, and, living a lie and all of this stuff. And then I speak about, my truths and what I'm experiencing. I want people to understand, when you do make a decision, it's okay if you want to change your mind about whether you want to be married, whether you want to be divorced, but you also have to think about the consequences of you bringing other people into the situation as well, because you're not just hurting yourself when you decide to divorce or you decide to break up a family. You're hurting a lot of people in the process. And if you, try to move on prematurely to where you feel like you're not ready, and then you get into this like serious relationship with someone else, and you two actually start a family together where, she ends up pregnant or whatever the case is. If you decide to, turn back around and be back in your marriage, you are not only hurting this new person that you're with, this woman is going to have a child that she's going to have to explain this to. And that's a lifetime of pain of explaining, this dramatic ass situation to a child. Now, we all have, experiences, and we all have drama, and we all have a level of dysfunction inside of our family. So, I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time, a man was married to a woman, decided he wanted to get a divorce, slept around with bitches for 2 years, and then met a woman, ended up trying to be in a relationship with her, gets in a serious relationship with her, then ends up pregnant, and then gets, scared and decides he wants to go back to his, first marriage, which he claimed he was upset in or miserable in. And, to me, it's like, at the end of the day, this is what I keep thinking. And this is coming from my soul when I say this. This is coming from deep down inside of my soul when I say this. I meet men where they're married to one woman, and then they meet another woman, and they claim that they love this woman so much, and then they go back to their first relationship. I always thought to myself, out of the many years that I've been in relationships with people, no one has loved me in that way. No man on this planet has loved me to the point where they was with me for X amount of time, and then they moved on to another woman and decided, what, I want to be with Soncerae. I'm going to do whatever I can to be with Soncerae. Now it's plenty of men out there who have said this is what they've wanted, and been with other women and said to me, hey, I made a poor choice and I wish I could be with you again. But none of them have, went the distance to try to do whatever they could to get back in with me. And so as I'm seeing, this situation with me and Priest right now, I'm just feeling like, if you love this person that much to where you would lose what you have with me to tell me that you want to go back to this old marriage that you were supposedly miserable in, if you devalue me that much, I just don't want to be with you at all. Because, the way that these people love each other when they get married and then they circle back like that, I want somebody to love me like that. And I feel like I deserve that, but I also deserve someone who, wants a happy marriage, will not abuse me, will not cheat on me, and will continue to love me through it all. And not everybody's marriage is successful. Not everybody has that type of marriage. But I know for me, that's what I want if I get married. And I felt like Priest was worth that. But it's so many people out there who you think are worthy of that step. And then they show you that you're not, that they're not. And you're not even worth them trying to value your situation. And it's unfortunate that Priest didn't have any children in his previous marriage. And here I am pregnant. And he still does not value starting a family with me. He still values going back to, a woman he couldn't even have children with. It's just, I really, the way that people do things, it's strange to me. I really don't understand it. And this is why I decided to be celibate for as many years as I did. And this is why I decided to stay away from relationships. And this experience right here, the lies that come with marriage and divorce and the issues, the cheating, all the baggage and drama that comes with it is exactly why I wanted to stay away from it, and I'm sitting here and people are like, well, you're not with Priest anymore. You'll find someone you deserve. I'm like, let me tell you something. That is the least on my mind. I'm not even close to caring about that. Like, I'd rather just be by myself, after this, because I've been through so much anyway. So to go through this, additional thing with Priest, it's just like, oh my God, like, I don't even know. Like, and for Tamar Braxton and Vince Herbert to be together for 9 years, be married for 9 years. And I'm pretty sure they were together years before that. For them to be together for 9 years and to spend X amount of years, which probably half of those years, miserable as hell together. That's 5 long years. 4 long years of just being miserable. And filing for divorce finally. Imagine how many married couples are staying married simply because they want to look good on paper, or they want the people around them to value their relationship. Because a lot of people feel like their relationship can't be valued unless they're married to each other. Unless they're legally married, their relationship means nothing. And this is why people stay in these horrible marriages. And it's unfortunate. But, for me, I just rather be by myself. Listen, I'm with Tamar on she's saying she wants to be in a relationship, and she doesn't want to fake a marriage where she's with someone that doesn't even like her. Someone that's tried to throw her out his home. Someone who, is behaving like they're officially done with the relationship. Who wants to be around that? So I respect her, filing for divorce and actually being honest about why she's filing for it. That I respect that, because a lot of people could not do that. A lot of people can't get on Instagram when you got all these people asking you why you divorced and actually say, why are you divorced? Why are you getting divorced? I always respect when people are 100% instead of sitting inside of a marriage, faking the funk, pretending like you're happy. Or supposedly being separated, but still living together, because you both are too lazy to go out there and get your own place. You want to split bills financially, but both of you are seeing other people, fucking other people, having relationships with other people, but you're separated. living in the same household together. It's just ridiculous. I feel like that lie, it's just too much for me, too much. I just don't want to participate in any of this. So I'm feeling anybody who says, you know what, I don't even want to be married anymore, because it's not what it used to be. It's not valued how it used to be valued. It's just no longer something that I feel like people should be participating in. This is no longer, something that's valued. And to me, when you genuinely love someone, the last thing you want to do is try to leave them to begin with. I mean, divorce would not even be an option. If you genuinely love someone, divorce wouldn't even be something that you thought about. Being separated would not be something that you thought about at all. You genuinely love someone, you want to be with them, you do whatever you can to make sure that your relationship is smooth. The last thing you're thinking about is separating or divorcing. In my case, I never would have thought in a million years that I would be separated from Priest or away from him. I didn't think that this was going to go this way at all. Like, I didn't have any indication. I thought he was always going to try to work on improving himself. And I'm always working on myself. I'm a work in progress myself. So I always thought that, I always thought that, if two people working on improving themselves individually, and they're also working on improving the relationship, then this relationship should go smooth, right? That's what I was thinking. But you know what? At the end of the day, when two people, one person decides that they want to no longer be a part of the situation and they begin to become selfish, this is really nothing that you can do about it. So I feel like, to be safe inside of situations, don't get married. Okay. If you do, in fact, want to have children, please keep in mind, even if you marry someone, a husband can still leave a wife while she's pregnant. I've heard that story plenty of times. Counseling sessions, plenty of women have come to me and said, hey, my husband, I'm 28 weeks pregnant and my husband then left and got back with his ex, or left and started cheating on me with X, Y, and Z. So don't think marriage is going to save you. A lot of people think that too. People say to me, hey, you had a baby out of wedlock. This your fault that Priest decided to leave. Do you realize that it's a lot of women out there, their husband just left them? Husband, not boyfriend. Husband. So it's like, it's just, at the end of the day, people are so fickle and they change their minds so much. If you want to have a baby and you want to start a family, just keep in mind, you could be selective about the person that you with, but at the same time, at the end of the day, these people are still going to do what they want to do. It doesn't matter. You could pick a person who has a great character, but even if you pick a person who has a great character, they'll sit there inside of a marriage with you miserable and not tell their family or anybody, and y'all sit there in like this miserable marriage with each other, putting on a facade for the rest of the world because their good character tells them that they got to stay married through anything that could possibly be horrible, because that's your vows. Till death do us part, ball and chain. I don't know. Everybody wants somebody to be with them and until the end, but some people just can't do that. Some people aren't built for that. And the diversity of this planet is what I speak about on my channel all the time, where you can make whatever choice you want to make inside of a relationship. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. And regardless to what choice you make, it could be a successful choice. It could be a good choice. It could be a poor choice. Regardless to how much you think about it beforehand, you could try to make the best choice or the best decision you can. But at the end of the day, no one knows what the future holds. You can make a choice to work on your marriage all day long, but you never know. You can decide to leave your marriage, but you never know. Just like this situation with me and Priest, his choice was to leave his marriage, and he was so sure. And only a handful of months later, 5 or 6 months later, now he's thinking about being back with his ex-wife. Yeah, So just think about that. And again, I share my stories all of the time with people. I share my stories with you guys so you can learn something from me. Learn from my experiences. Okay, and hear what I'm telling you. Hear what I'm saying to you. I'm not sitting here telling you my story and my truths because I want everybody to know my fucking business. I'm sitting here telling you my stories and my truths. You can learn something from this experience and take from it what you need so you can improve your life or make better decisions for your life or get a clearer understanding of what it is that you want to do with your life. Just remember the purpose of me telling you the stories that I tell you. I appreciate you listening to me, and I appreciate you watching my channel, all right? Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.